We're all gonna have fun. Hi there, I'm Christine Bentley in studio with Kate Wheeler, and we have the one and only Carrie Kirkman with us today. She thinks we're crazy. The president of the Jones Group in Canada. And so let's start off there and tell us a little bit about that before we get to the good stuff.
Perfect. Well, the Jones Group is an organization that produces the brands that you might well know, Jones New York, and Klein. As a part of that organization was Nine West, Stuart Weitzman. It's a large organization and a great portfolio of brands.
Well, I was looking through the list because, I'm always on the lookout for graft and want to see who you represent. But Judith Jack, now I've collected her jewelry, her Marquisite jewelry for years. Is she doing that, or what are you representing for her? Because I love her stuff.
Very sorry to disappoint you, but our organization in Canada, or the company that I lead, is apparel only.
Darn.
Might be able to hook you up, though.
But you've had a long career doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So when did that start?
Longer than I'd probably like to share, but
Yeah.
I've been in the business over 25 years, and I've been in wholesale and retail. I was lucky enough to have spent 8 years with the Hudson's Bay Company and working through many different businesses there, including their ladies' wear business. So pretty broad and a fun experience for me leading up to what I'm doing now.
Did you always want to do that?
I did. I've had a passion for fashion. It sounds terrible, passion for fashion. There's a sounds
great to me.
But I really have. I love the industry. I love the creativity, and I love the fact that I'm in a position to balance business with the art. And I think if you're a creative person, but also a person who is driven and likes to have very measurable results, I think that the fashion industry is a fantastic place to have an opportunity to work.
Let me just ask you, when you started, because we have so many young people out there who are trying to get jobs or get their careers on track, and was it a woman's business then when you started, or was it a man's business?
It's funny. I believe that at the end of the day, nearly all businesses are men's business, and not for any reason necessarily that they've tried to exclude women, but rather, men have owned and driven business for many, many, many decades where women were not really a part of the dialogue. And so I would say at the most senior level, it's still a man's business. And we're all working to change that.
But you're at a senior level, and you have changed that. And what is it about you that has changed that?
I think, again, having a strong passion, I think being very committed, being very results-oriented. And I have never believed that I had barriers, let's just say. If there was something that I was passionate about, there was no reason why I was not going to be able to attain it or achieve it. And I will also say that it was not a plan of mine to end up being president of a large apparel company in this country. I didn't have a set career plan that wasn't, by this age I have to be doing X. I really felt that at each opportunity or assignment that I had within my career path, it was really about working hard, striving for excellence, being creative and approaching it in a way that was not limited by other people's perceptions or paradigms, and taking that, I think, and making that the focus of my career. The rest really seemed to take care of itself.
Well, that's what I think a lot of young people are hoping will happen, but they don't have that confidence, right? I mean, what would you say to young people today?
I'd say be less focused on what's next and much more focused on what's in front of you now. Your opportunity to build your brand, to build your reputation is in the moment that you're in now. And I feel that a lot of young people today they feel so much pressure on the what's next that I think you can lose focus, that what's next comes from what's now. And I would say having great results, focusing on building skills in the opportunity, regardless of where you're starting. you can be exceptional at any level. So that would be really what I would say.
Now, you talked just then about branding, your personal brand. Why do you think personal branding is so important for women today?
I think it's important for everybody, not necessarily just women, but I think that everybody needs to be very conscious of whether you're focused on your brand or not. You are communicating it nonetheless. So understanding that how you present yourself, how you speak, the language you choose, and the way you show up is all building and reinforcing a reputation and a message about who you are. Mm-hmm. And you should be purposeful about that and conscious of it because it's valuable. It's ultimately part of what you bring to the table.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see that people do?
Well, we'll speak specifically about women.
Okay.
I would say that often women have this sense that they need to be perfect before they're ready for an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I hear so often women say, I don't think I'm ready yet. You don't hear men say that. Men will say, I've been given an opportunity, I'm going to take it, and I'll figure it out. I'll find people to help me, I'm going to figure it out. Women, for some reason, feel like they have to be perfect and perfectly ready before they move forward with opportunities that are presented. So I would say one big message would be open and have a belief that you can make it work. I have not been perfectly ready for every next step within my career, and it has not held me back. Mm-hmm. So I think it's, number one, understanding, and you have that little voice on your shoulder that often is, whispering negative things into your mind, to be conscious about ignoring that. It's not being unrealistic, but very few opportunities get presented to people where they're completely unwarranted, right? If somebody's giving you that opportunity, it's because they've recognized something in you that they believe that you have an opportunity to be successful in it. So believe it. That would be one thing I think is important. The other thing would be that women should be very conscious about not giving away their personal power. And I think that we're givers. We're big givers, right? That's a big thing. We're taught that we need to be kind, and we need to have lots of empathy, and we need to... it's all very much about putting out a lot. And I think that sometimes what that does is it actually can deplete somebody. While I'm not suggesting for a second that you're not supportive, and I do believe that women have a very important role in supporting other women, it's also being conscious that language that you use and how you show up sometimes gives your power away, and it's not necessary. So if you feel like you've been given an opportunity that you might not be ready for, you don't have to share that with everybody. You could have an internal dialogue or have your closest friend that you want to share that with. But I know a lot of women that would feel perfectly comfortable about just sharing that, being open and sharing the fact that, they appreciate it. But
so you're saying you need to learn to be able to say no to certain things. So how would you describe personal power?
I mean, certainly there's been a lot spoken and written about saying no, but I see it not so much about saying no as not being so open about those perhaps insecurities or thoughts that you have. It comes more from that place, is that be conscious of the fact that, and I don't for a second want to come across as male bashing, or because men are part of the dialogue and women won't be successful without men's support. They are ultimately the other half of the equation for women. But you don't want to give people an excuse to justify why you're not ready. So even if you know maybe that you're capable of doing something, but you feel you have a sense that maybe this is a step up or a stretch for yourself, you don't have to share it. Sharing that can actually feed other people's,
Yeah. So from the way I understand it, what you're saying is on a corporate level, don't don't parade your vulnerability.
That's great.
Just-
much more clearly stated. Yes.
Don't parade that. Share it with your best friend, but don't parade it, and it will work itself out.
I agree. That it's certainly something that I've seen, and when you take a look at women who have found a way to be successful within a corporate environment, that is something that I feel is a thread that's identified in those women, how they operate.
I just wanted to, I was just looking at the computer. They found the little girl missing. They found the 2-year-old girl
Oh.
missing from Norwich. So she has been found. She's currently with paramedics. So way to go. But I thought that was worth.
That's great.
Absolutely interrupting because we have you staying on, Carrie, to talk to us. We're just going to take a short break and hear much, much more about the one and only Carrie Kirkman. Right after this break, this is what she said on Canada Talks 167.